A good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us. This is quite a process that we're watching play out in the courts today, and we'll get into some of the arguments that Sibiya's legal representative put on the table. But I do want to start with some of the basics here, just for clarity for ourselves and for the viewers. We seem to be talking about the Deputy Police Commissioner's suspension versus the Deputy Police Commissioner's placement on special leave. Now, part of his legal argument is that he says that him being placed on a leave of absence, he says, is a disguised suspension. I think a good place to start is to actually get a distinction of what is the difference between the two.
It really is semantics at the end of the day, Naledi. In terms of saying I'm on a leave of absence, it assists you in saving face. It is normally used for other instances such as sickness, illness, and garden leave is also used as a better word for suspension. So long as you are being paid while you're asked to stay at home, is the most important part of a leave of absence or being on suspension, garden leave, some sort of rest period. Really, to me, there is no difference.
Yeah, and so considering that this is part of the argument that's being put forward by Sibiya, I mean, the strength of that argument when you say it really is semantics for the position of the Deputy Police Commissioner?
Well, he's gone to the High Court. One would normally go to the CCMA or the Public Bargaining Council that oversees the SAPS. He has gone straight to the High Court, which means that he is arguing on the unlawfulness of this as opposed to the unfairness of it all. He wants to have a chance to respond to the suspension or being placed on an absence without leave. My sense of it all is that this is perhaps a ploy or play on the legal system, attempting to embarrass Masimole and everyone else.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, General Sibiya eagerness to get back to work and to interdict the parallel investigation says a lot about power, reputation, and survival. That's my opinion. So a suspended police general isn't just chilling. Actually, a deputy police general isn't just chilling at home. Okay, the longer he's out, the more the smoke around him looks like fire. And Deputy General's image is everything, okay? He's not trying to be remembered as the cop who sat on the bench while others investigate him. He wants to control, the narrative. So if the parallel investigation, if there's a parallel investigation, it means two sets of eyes digging into the same mess. That increases the risk of inconsistencies being exposed. By trying to stop it, he's basically saying one investigation is enough, let's keep it neat, which often translates to less chances of contradiction that could ban him. Now, again, this looks like a strategic comeback, going back to work while the cloud is still hanging. It shows, let me rather say, it shows that he wants to project confidence. If I am really guilty, why would I rush going back to work? That is a strategy. Again, it's a chess move. He wants to look indispensable while also tightening his grip on the environment where people are investigating him. Okay, what Fani Masimole is trying to do. And looking at it, interdicting the parallel probe is also a defense legal tactic if there's only one official investigation. His lawyer only have to fight on one front. 2 investigation, 2 headaches, more chances of finding that and be controlled. So in short, General Sibiya is not just eager, he's desperate to restore his authority, contain the damage, and prevent multiple versions of the truth from surfacing. So by so saying, I would like you to take a listen to Natasha Moni as he continues, and as she continues to explain her understanding of Deputy General Sibiya's tiff, or let me just say, disgruntlement. Okay, let's take a listen.
And look, I mean, we did start really with some of the semantics that you talked about that are being argued in court. But let's get to the deeper arguments now. And I want to actually just run through them, if you will. Sibiya's legal representative, Advocate Camille Premhead, makes a few various points. He says that Sibiya, being placed on special leave, did not comply with the police's mandatory disciplinary regulations. That's one of the first things I want to touch on. I want to get your view on that. He says that his removal from duty was without due process, and he then talks about his concerns about overlap with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry. Just what you make of the success or strength of the argument that has been put forward by his legal team.
Well, I'm sure you'll agree with me that it is highly technical. And this is not what is supposed to happen in accordance with how the public is to see it and view it. The public wants answers, and they want to be able to trust that that General Masemola is doing the right thing. What we do know is that he used Section 207 of the Constitution, which allows him, only him, he has the authority to manage police operations and take administrative actions. Yes, I agree with Sibiya's counsel that has to be done within the framework of the law and the policies around policing and the procedures with regard to suspension and disciplinary inquiries. As to the dovetailing of the commission and what the police have to do, I would argue that is different, but I do not know the setup in terms of what the commission's powers and authority is over the disciplinary inquiry.
Yeah, because that becomes a bigger sort of issue, and part of the terms of reference of the commission also brought up in court today, and quite the tennis match of a discussion there. But let's look at the argument that's been put forward as well by the legal representative of the National Police Commissioner, General Fani Masemola, who says that the allegations against Sibiya have now made the working relationship between himself and the Deputy Police Commissioner, Shadrack Sibiya, extremely difficult. So I bring that up to say, if we were to, for instance, see the court grant success to Shadrack Sibiya, what would that working relationship then look like if he was reinstated?
In my experience, working relationships are really tethered and breakable. When something like this happens, it's enormously embarrassing. It is a career-limiting move. And unfortunately, the position that he has is tremendously political in all sense of the word. So my guess is that they wouldn't be able to work again with one another, which is quite absurd if you think of what happened on the 20th of August, where Masemola actually said, well, I'll place you on suspension, or you can be placed somewhere else in the workplace. The contention here is that you are suspended because you have this opportunity or a belief that you are going to interfere with the investigation into your conduct. And that is one of the reasons why one would be suspended. And if that's not the case, if you will allow him back to come and work with you or work somewhere else in a particular position, then you are not afraid of the kind of corruption you have purportedly experienced in terms of the investigation.
Yeah.